I'm out here in my garden to talk to you, because there's good lighting out here, to talk to you about, give you an update on how things are going for the Dobson in a Day challenge that is happening in 3 days. So today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the big day. 58 kilometers in 1 day. So why did I decide to do this Dobson in a Day thing? Well, I was inspired because I joined the 50 Amazing Places Challenge with Sarah Lord, where we're visiting the 50 amazing places in the Fundy Biosphere. And then I heard about the Dobson in a Day event, and I thought, well, why not? I'm already doing these things, and I've always wanted to do the Dobson, so I just added it to my already full schedule. And also, it's because I'm ready to reconnect with the person that I left behind in my youth, who was really into hiking and biking and all kinds of outdoor activities. And I wanted to do the Adirondacks Trail and Appalachian Trail, And anyways, I had lots of dreams about long trek hiking. I've been wanting to do the Dobson since we moved to Riverview. And the idea of sleeping there and carrying a big bag, and I didn't like that idea so much. So this was my chance to do it all in 1 day, get it over with. So that's it. So that's why I decided to do it. And did I have any fears or doubts at the beginning? Well, of course, but I'm doing it anyways. For me, I think that failure is an option. And we want to say failure is not an option. I can do this. I'm going to just trudge through. But actually, it's okay to fail. It's better to try and fail than not to do it at all, right? So, however, I am going to predetermine the conditions for failure. So in my case, I'm thinking injury, sickness, or loss of mobility in some way, which would be like an injury or sickness. So basically it's injury or sickness. Those are the only reasons why I'm not going to finish. It won't be because of the bugs. It won't be because of the rain. It won't be because my muscles are sore. It won't be because I'm tired. That I can push through. So that's kind of the mindset that I'm going into this with. Now, how did I prepare physically for this event? I did training heights. I already talked to you about this in another video where I planned on doing increasing distances, and I ended up putting that aside. And as you probably you might have thought that I gave up, because I haven't been posting videos since the past 3 weeks. So the idea is that I did go out on a longer hike with someone who's experienced. Her name is Carolyn. And basically, I learned that it's more about the mindset than training on all these long hikes, and consistency. So going out regularly on hikes. So that's what I did, because I continued doing my hikes with the 50 Amazing Places and my own hiking. And I stopped doing the extra long hikes, and I'm saving that for Saturday. So we'll see. But the longest I've done was 25 kilometers. So I know I can do that. And I felt at the time that I could continue, but that was it. I thought, okay, that's it. That's all I'm doing for today. And that's all the time I had for it. Because it is very time consuming, right? To do really long hikes. All right. And then I also spent time in my garden. I have a very large garden. So I spent a lot of time out here working on, just digging and moving things around. And also at my son's garden, who lives out in Harvey near Riverside, Albert. Anyway, so we worked over there. One day we worked 15 hours straight in the garden, and that was a training. It was just endurance, right? So I figured, oops, my notes just are going flying. I don't want to spend a lot of time editing this video, because that's one reason why I don't really create videos enough, because it takes a lot of time. So I want to get this out here. All right, so what else did I want to say? Working in the garden. Another super important thing that I thought was stretching and practicing mobility. So working your lower back and strengthening your muscles. That is another thing that I've been spending a lot of time on. Also recovery and rest. So taking the time to really make sure you're all caught up on your sleep, like no late nights. I'm training myself now to go to bed very early so I can get up early and get moving earlier in the morning. Now, maybe if you're in your 20s, you could just do this spontaneously. But I'm 55, so that's not going to happen. I have to train myself to get there. And also learning what your body can handle. So I'm pretty good at listening to my body, and I think that I'll know when to stop and if I can keep going or not. An example. So on one of the practice hikes that I did with Carolyn, I started having pain in my knees, and I had never had pain like that in my knees while hiking, to a point where I really slowed down, and then I realized I needed to stretch. It was my quads that were seizing up. So once I stretched my quads, I was fine. I could just keep going, no problem. So it was a muscle thing. So you really have to be able to figure it out, right? Okay, next thing, I spent some time learning the trail. So I have the map. Let me get my map out. It's in my pocket here, in my zip pocket in my leg, accessible. So this map is in the Dobson Trail book that you can get. It's bright orange. You can get it I got mine at Jean Coutu in Riverview. So it has the whole trail. So it probably has it reversed for you there, but so where we're starting, and then I can find, they already posted where the checkpoints are, so I was able to figure that out. And I figured out, after looking through the trail, this is one half and that's the other half. Okay, after looking through the whole trail, I realized that there's only about maybe 10 kilometers that I've never done. So everything else I've done in sections here and there. So I feel confident now. I can do this. So studying the maps, understanding where the checkpoints are and how many kilometers there are between each one. So if you don't know this, the first checkpoint is at 14.5 kilometers. And I wrote this down on a little piece of paper too, that I want to keep as I'm hiking to remember. And again, that might be reversed for you. So the first one is Kent Road, 14.5 kilometers. And then the second one is at Prosser Brook Road, and that's another 11 kilometers away. Then the third one, which is the midpoint, is 7.5 kilometers farther. So that's the shortest section. Then the fourth one is at Tower Road, and that's 10.5 kilometers away from the midsection. And then the last one is the finish line, which is another 14.7 kilometers. So the first section and the last section are the longest, 14.5 and 14.7. And then the three in the middle, 11, 7.5, and 10. So that's a good way. If you think of it in sections, okay, first checkpoint, got it. Next one. Then you want to get to midpoint, and at midpoint I have a bag. Oh, I forgot to bring it out with me. I'll have to pause the video to show you that. Anyways, I have a bag that has all of my restock stuff in it, and an extra pair of shoes, extra socks, an extra t-shirt. I guess I don't have to bring it, I'll just tell you. And an extra long sleeve shirt. I have an extra headlamp in case something happens to my first one. I have more than one pair of socks. I have compression socks because sometimes your legs are really, you know, it can help, you know, get the circulation. I have a restock of food. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about my okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so this was important, the checkpoints. Get back to my notes because I could go off topic here. Go off on a tangent. So learning where the difficult sections are, and that's one thing that I was able to do with Carolyn. We actually drove down to Sheppity Road to where we're all going to start, and we did the first, I'll say 10 kilometers, no 12, about 12 kilometers in and back, and we just skipped the road parts. We drove through that, and anyway, so she showed me like the parts that are a little confusing, and we saw that there were parts where they didn't have enough markings, but that has been fixed since then. So this was a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And yeah, I know that they fixed those things. She reported back, and she's actually responsible for one of the sections. So she reported the places that needed more, can't remember what she called them, but like the blue markings to show that you're on the trail. And everything is good now, so it should be clear. There were some wet sections in there, so that's good to know. So the people who helped me, so people who hiked with me, I had Carolyn, again, I mentioned her 3 times. Very nice. I'd never met her before. She just reached out to me through YouTube and offered to bring me out and go check out the course. She's done the Dobson in a day four times. Yes, 4 times. And so she had a ton of really good points for me. And I made some changes based on her advice. Then there's also my group of 50 Amazing Places, girls and gals, that I went hiking with on multiple little hikes. Sarah Lord in there and the whole gang. And Gail Connor, who I just met. We went on a hike to Crooked Creek Falls. An amazing person and a lot of experience hiking, and she also gave me some good tips. Then another person who gave me good tips is André Boulard, who is, he did an ultra marathon, and so he was giving tips about managing your food and your fueling as you go for something that requires endurance. And also the organizers and the people in the comments on YouTube and Facebook gave me all kinds of advice. And I have encouragement from the hiking community and support from my family and my husband. So my son's going to drive me to Alma, and my husband's going to pick me up. And he said if I ever want to quit at any point, he'll come and get me. So that's his support. All right. I thought I saw someone go by. It was this. It's funny. My eyes are playing tricks on me. Okay. Gear evolution. So what I thought I would carry at first is a backpack. And I went on that hike with Carolyn, and I quickly decided no backpacks. She had a fanny pack, and I decided to go that way. So I have 2. I have 2 fanny packs. It's hard to, can I tip this way? So I've got one here for my food, my water. Okay, this is really annoying. And then another one back here for things like my flashlight, extra socks, Band-Aids, moleskin, anything that I might need for safety, or for, a raincoat, and then a bug net. Yeah. Anyways, I'll go through the bags. And then this one, I've got my snacks, and they're easily accessible. The idea is that I can just eat and go, keep walking. You always want to be in motion. You don't want to stop to eat, because then you won't be able to start up again, maybe. So just want to keep going. You might slow down, but that's okay. I also have my hiking poles stuck into my belt, because as I was hiking that 20-some kilometers, I didn't have these gloves, and my hands were really sore. So when I went to bed that night, I had pain in my hands just from holding the poles. And there's a lot of sections, like when you're going on a road or a flat area, where you don't really need your poles. So I want to be able to just tuck them behind me, out of the way, so my hands are free, and then I can, eat my snacks or whatever as I go. I also decided to go for a smaller water bottle, so 500 milliliters rather than a full liter. But I have a secret stash right here. This is the platypus, recommended by ChatGPT, because it's a whole liter of water, so it's my extra water, and it'll keep me cool. I have it nestled right there between the girls. And also when I'm done, I can just roll it up and put it in my bag. So this is my secret stash of water. There we go, just put that back in there. All right. What else would I say about, and also water sources. All along the way, there are a few springs. So I know that there's one at the 29 kilometer, that's the true midpoint. So the 29 kilometer, there's a spring, and there's a cabin along the way around that area. There's a spring there too. So I know of those 2, there may be more. And of course, at our checkpoints, we'll be able to restock with water. Okay, what else do I want to say? Oh, yes, on my hike, on my practice hike, I brought like a protein shake that I made up, and then I had like a trail mix in one of those reusable containers. Not a good idea. So now everything's in Ziploc bags or in things that I could just not throw out on the trail, but just kind of crumple up and put in a Ziploc bag to dispose of when I get to a garbage can. So whereas those large containers, once they're empty, what a pain. That was in my backpack, which I'm not doing anymore. Okay, I'm bringing caffeine because I'm used to having 2 or 3 coffees a day. So I know I'm gonna have a coffee before I leave, but when I get midday and start to get a slump, I brought a little pack of instant coffee. And I figured I could just add that to water, shake it up, have like iced coffee. It may not be the best coffee in the world, but it'll give me caffeine and might give me a boost to keep going. I'm also bringing electrolytes, very important. Hydrating is super important. And I'm bringing pepperoni sticks, trail mix. I'm adding bacon to my trail mix, really good. I bought some of those blocks. I've never tried them before, so we'll see how they work. They're by Cliff Bars. Then of course they're providing protein bars and protein drinks and water along the way, and I don't know what else, but I know that there's that. I just want to be sure and have some on hand. Things that I worried about that didn't matter. I can't really think of anything for that question. Things that you never expected to be difficult. You know what? I think that I'm going to answer those questions after I do the trip, because I'm not sure. I don't have those answers yet. So one thing I do expect to be difficult is to finish. And maybe it won't be as bad as I thought. Just like I kind of compare this to giving birth, because before I ever gave birth, I thought, how am I going to do this? How am I going to be able to endure the pain? And then when the pain started, I remember it was like, oh, I can't do this, but then there's no choice. You have to. This baby has to come out. So I did it. And then after, I was so proud of myself. I was so proud of myself for being able to give birth and to bring this child into the world. And it was like I started and I just had to keep going, focus on your breathing. So I'm kind of going to make a parallel with that. This is something that I don't know if I can do, but I'm going to focus, and I'm going to always keep that in the back of my mind. You know, you can do hard things. All right. So gear that I've purchased and abandoned would be my backpack and my hiking boots. Not that I'll never use those, but I decided to go with trail runners, and this was recommended by people in the comments on Facebook. So I got myself some Saucony trail runners that take in the water, and I'm wearing smart socks with them, smart wool socks. And so basically I'm not going to be avoiding the water. I'll try to avoid a little bit, but I mean, if I get my feet wet, it's not the end of the world. And I put gaiters on, ankle gaiters. And that's just so that debris doesn't go into my shoe, because if you get little rocks and stuff in your shoe, that can cause blisters and all kinds of bad things that you don't want. So I have some moleskin and some blister repair stuff in my, oh, I have a safety thing. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. First aid, tiny first aid kit. And in there I've got like Band-Aids, and it's all just there, available, not taking much room. Okay, lessons I've learned from training on hikes is to keep a steady pace, to lock in to the goal, to stretch when you start feeling pain, or even before. Stretch as much as you can. Keep everything limber, loose, and always fuel yourself, constantly feeding. Okay. Mental prep. I'm learning to be comfortable hiking for hours. Just realize that this is like, I've got you balanced on my garbage can here, so. All right, anyways, that's what you see there that's my garbage can. Learning to be comfortable hiking for hours. Managing self-doubt. So I talked about the predetermined reasons for quitting, so injury or sickness. Other than that, I can do this. Breaking the trail into sections, so that's like checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2. Focus on the next piece. You can do this. How many kilometers is it? Can you do 7.5 kilometers? Yes. Okay, do it. And then my final plan for the big day, the start time is 5 in the morning, so we have to be there earlier than that. I'm sleeping at my son's house in Harvey. He's going to drive me to Alma at 3. I'm meeting up with some people there that are going to bring me to the starting point. And then it's the checkpoints, refueling constantly. I've got my water, always restocking, always keeping hydrated. I'm pacing myself. I'm not trying to keep up with other people around me or to beat anyone or to beat a time, right? My goal is to finish, that's it. Maybe someone else's goal is to beat a certain time, and that's fine. But it's okay, you know, you do what you do you, right? And then of course there's a support crew around us. We're well surrounded. And what success looks like to me, I want to say finishing, but is it really? To me, is starting, okay? What success looks like to me is starting this journey. Taking the first step is success. It's daring to do this. And I've already gained all kinds of things along the way. Like I've gained new friends, I've gained better confidence, better health, time outside, I've learned new skills, and I'm rediscovering adventure at 55. That's it. I'll be back to share the trek and what I've learned from that. See you.